Hello. People often ask me, in terms of how we in modern times use positive behavioral interventions and supports instead of an older system of interacting with raising children, one of the major components in the difference is the use of rewards and punishments. In modern ABA, positive behavioral interventions and supports, we do not use punishment with children, nor rewarding children. So why is even rewarding children, like giving a child a candy as a treat to reward him or her for doing something you wanted them to do, why is that not a developmentally appropriate practice? Well, it's because you're conditioning the child to only do the last thing he did in order to get that piece of candy, rather than helping the child develop self-determination, self-regulation to do what he or she is going to do. So the scientific definition of reward is called arbitrary reinforcement. The scientific definition of logical consequence is an objective reinforcement. So what is the difference between this arbitrary reinforcement, called reward, and positive reinforcement? Positive reinforcement is doing something that the child feels a sense of accomplishment for doing, as opposed to getting a reward for doing something. Example, let's say the child has just thrown a temper tantrum at home, and now he wants to watch television. Let's imagine he slapped his little brother or sister, and now he wants ice cream from the refrigerator. Well, if I give the child what the child wants, at the moment the child wants it, that will be rewarding the last thing they did that I found unacceptable, such as throwing a temper tantrum or hitting a sibling. So it's very important to understand we have to learn a couple skills in order to help children learn self-regulation. And those two skills are the skill of communicating empathic understanding and the skill of confronting a child with a three-part I message. So if I want the child to not throw temper tantrums or not hit his brother or sister, then to give them whatever they are demanding right now, if 5 minutes ago they just did something unacceptable, is called positive reinforcement for what I didn't want them to do through reward. But instead of using reward, if I just use logical consequence as a reinforcement, then the child will learn self-control and self-regulation. So here's an example. If the child hits his little brother and now says, "Oh, Mommy, I want some candy," then the parent should do two things. One, lovingly say, "You sure would like some candy right now." And that's it. Don't say anything else. Just acknowledge the child's want, the child's preference, what the child was saying they wanted. Now, often the child will repeat that 2 or 3 times. "So, Mommy, are you going to give me some candy?" That requires the parent to state another empathic response. you really want some candy right now. And typically, by the time the child sees that mom's not giving him that, he'll maybe come up with a third attempt saying, yes, I want it now. And all the adult has to do is lovingly say, you really want that candy right this minute. And typically, if you don't give in, then the child will go off and do something else. And then a little while later, when the child says, Mom, I want some candy, you lovingly say, I would love to give you some candy, but remember when you hit your brother? When I feel safe, I touch people gently. Then you can have some candy, maybe after supper tonight. And ignore it after that. Just, if the child throws a temper tantrum, give no response, give absolutely no attention to any response the child makes, and eventually the child will start acting more socially competent. Thank you for listening.
أنا بقلها لأختي معلش تعطيني تعيريني هاي اللعبة. بقلها شكرا. أنا بقلها شكرا.